In this video we are taking you with us to Düsseldorf, Germany to attend this year's ProWein, one of the largest wine events in the world. With over 1,000 exhibitors and more than 50,000 professionals attending, this is the place to be for anyone passionate about wine. We actually made the decision to go at the last minute, so everything happened fast. Luckily, we managed to get accredited as official press representatives, so the light was green. We flew from Kolozsvár to Dortmund, then hopped on the train to Düsseldorf. We arrived a day early to get ready for what would be 3 intense, exciting days. So it's the first morning, we are ready to leave to the Messe Düsseldorf, where the ProWein is taking place. We are a bit late because it starts at 9 and it's already 9:13, but hope to get there as soon as possible and start the journey. We are really excited. This is going to be our first time experiencing the ProWein, so don't really know what to expect, but hope that it's going to be interesting. At 12 p.m. we are going to participate at the Wines of Hungary stand, where Konstantin Baum is going to have a course on Tokai wines, which is really exciting, and we are really glad that he is bringing some more attention to the Hungarian wine industry. So let's go. After about 20-30 minutes of traveling, we arrived at the venue, picked up our press badges, and officially stepped into ProWein. Now, it's hard to explain just how big this event is. The halls are massive, 11 in total. Even with 3 full days, there is no way you can see everything. That was one of our first lessons. You need a plan. If you just wander around, you will miss everything. So we set our targets: meetings, masterclasses, and a few key regions and wineries we wanted to explore. Before we knew it, it was already noon and time for our first masterclass. So guys, we are ready for our first session at the ProWein. It's 12 a.m. and we are going to start with a wine tasting at the Wines of Hungary stand with Konstantin Baum, and we are really excited to experience this masterclass. Let's get into it.
The less facility. So that is obviously always something to bear in mind. Here the sugar just kind of shows itself a little bit more.
The masterclass was incredible. Konstantin's presentation was top-notch and the wines were fantastic. It was great to finally meet him in person after chatting online before. We caught up before the session and ran into him a few more times during the event. So we are taking a coffee break. It's 3 p.m. The first day is going great. At the beginning it was quite a bit overwhelming when we arrived. Obviously, this is our first time, and there are so many interesting things, so many people to talk to, so many wineries to get to know. And this is just one of the halls that we have, one of 17, so you can imagine how big it is. We just came back from a masterclass, and yeah, now we are taking a coffee break, and we are going to go back and continue with some interesting interactions and tasting some great wines. Then we headed over to the Loire Valley stand. One of the big surprises of the day came from Chinon, Cabernet Franc wines with mind-blowing intensity, floral and fruity aromas, great body and long finishes. I didn't have too much experience with Chinon wines before, but they truly surprised us. These Cabernet Franc based wines were expressive, vibrant and beautifully made. Chinon has definitely become a region we will keep a close eye on from now on. Then we ventured to the Chinese wine section. I had never tried Chinese wines before and was very curious, especially since I'll be traveling to China this summer to judge at the CMB and visit the Ningxia region. The Chinese stands were some of the most impressive. Beautiful setups, highly professional wraps, and surprisingly great wines. Mostly French varieties, mostly Bordeaux style. We even had the chance to taste a brandy from Chateau Changyu Moser. So we are here with you, with the Koya brand, tasting some Chinese brandy, which is really exciting. This is our first time tasting Chinese brandy, and he's going to introduce the brand for us and some interesting special edition bottles, because they really do deserve some attention.
Yeah, so the brand is called Chateau Changyu Moser. It is from the oldest and biggest winery in China called Changyu, and this is our premium line with the brandies. So the brandy consists 100% Uni Blanc, and at the moment in Europe we are selling the VSOP 6-year-old and also the XO 10-year-old. Let's look at the beautiful bottle, and then we comes to the special edition. That first, this is what we did 3 years ago. It's the Year of the Rabbit edition, and then this is the Year of the Dragon edition. So as of this February, we are in Year of Snake, and this is our Year of the Snake edition.
After that came something we were really looking forward to, the wines of Joe Wagner. Joe is a friend of the show, we've been on each other's podcasts, but this was the first time we got to taste his wines in person. His Pinot Noirs were a whole new experience. Deep ruby color, rich in jammy red fruits, dried plums, floral notes, and a touch of spice. Totally different from European styles. We kept going with other American producers like Ridge and Duckhorn, and then came a magical coincidence. While walking around, we randomly stumbled upon a Bordeaux Grand Cru Classé tasting setup. We had no idea this was happening and almost missed it. Turns out it was taking place the next morning, with 70 top Bordeaux chateaux pouring their 2022 vintage. But participation was limited and required registration approval. My heart sank a bit. But we applied anyways, and somehow we got in. That alone was a reason to celebrate. As the first day wrapped up, we realized people weren't really leaving the venue. Instead, little relaxed tasting corners started forming. It became this chill, laid-back after-hours vibe. We joined in, stayed for more conversations and tastings, and eventually made our way back to Röttingen late in the evening.
Good morning, this is the second day. We are ready. It's pretty cold, we are pretty tired. The first day was amazing, but we made a few mistakes. For example, we packed our bags with all of our gear, gimbals, cameras, batteries, everything, which we ended up not needing. So today we are much smarter and we didn't bring lots of stuff to carry, so it's going to be lighter. We have huge plans for today. We are going to start the day with Bordeaux Grand Cru Classé tasting from 9:30, which we hope that we are going to catch, but it looks like we are going to be able to catch it. And yeah, after that we have a few appointments, meetings, and we'll see how it goes.
We made it to Messe just in time for the big event.
So we are starting the second day of ProWein at the Union Grand Cru Classé. We are having a Grand Cru Classé tasting of 70 chateaux from Bordeaux, representing all of the sub-regions of Bordeaux. Lots of interesting wines, all from the 2022 vintage. So it's going to be a really nice way to experience the potential of this vintage, tasting all these different wines. So let's jump into the tasting.
The tasting was amazing. We received elegant little kits with tasting glasses, notebooks, and a book introducing all 70 chateaux. It's hard to pick favorites, but a few wines truly stood out. Chateau de Camensac holds a special place in my heart. It was the first Grand Cru Classé wine I have ever tasted during my studies in Bordeaux. It was a full circle moment to meet them again and taste their 2020. Chateau de Zac from Margaux was another highlight. Lionel Tonnerieux has been a guest on our podcast and we've been in touch for years. Tasting their wines together in person was something special. We continued tasting through all 70 chateaux, each wine seemingly more impressive than the last. Then we closed our tasting session with 2 wonderful sweet wines from the Sauternes region. All in all, I think that the 2020 Bordeaux vintage is fantastic. Despite a growing season marked by extreme weather conditions, the wines adapted beautifully and the results are stunning. Balanced, structured, and full of aging potential. Some of our personal favorites included Chateau Linge-Bache from Pauillac with its depth and precision, Chateau Beichuel from Saint-Julien, silky and refined, Chateau Pape Clément from Pessac-Lignon, rich and elegant, and Chateau Giscours from Margaux with its floral complexity. Chateau Latour Blanche from Sauternes closed the tasting on a high note with its luscious sweetness and bright acidity, a legendary vintage in the making. Then it was time for another Hungarian masterclass with Konstantin, this time focusing on indigenous grape varieties. And talking about indigenous grape varieties, we stayed on that path, moving all the way to the farthest hall to Greece and tasting through the whole lineup of fantastic Greek wines. I've always thought that Greece is an underrepresented wine-growing country, And this tasting proved it once more. The variety, the complexity, the quality, just incredible. They have more than 300 indigenous grape varieties and all the styles you can imagine. We tasted through sparkling, whites, reds, and even retzinas. Retsina is a traditional Greek wine infused with pine resin, a winemaking technique that goes back thousands of years. In ancient times, amphoras were sealed with pine resin to preserve the wine, and today, that same technique is echoed in these modern, herbal, and uniquely Greek wines. The highlight, though, was definitely Cinnamavro. We tasted around 30 to 40 different Greek wines that day, but these two Cinnamavros absolutely blew our minds. The first was vibrant, fresh, and expressive, packed with notes of white strawberries, raspberries, sour cherry, and a touch of tomato leaf. Its bright acidity and long finish made it incredibly exciting. The second was 2013 Grand Reserve, an elegant, mature, and deeply complex wine, with aromas of dried rose petals, black olives, cinnamon, cloves, and earthy undertones. Together, they showcased the extraordinary potential of this grape. That night ended like the first, hanging out, tasting, chatting with fellow wine lovers and some of our followers. Before we knew it, it was the final day. We started with a live stream, walking through all the halls and sharing what ProWein looks like from the inside. If you don't want to miss live streams like this in the future, consider subscribing and ticking that notification bell. Then, a few more meetings, friendly catch-ups, and one more tasting we had been waiting for. We visited Vic, one of Chile's top wineries. Their winemaker, Christian Vallejo, is one of the most innovative minds in the business, and a formal podcast guest. Tasting through the Vic portfolio was a real treat. Then, finally, champagne. We tasted through multiple houses, each offering beautiful bottles. But, without a doubt, the highlight was Champagne Mandois, and especially their Victor Blanc de Blanc 2013. It was absolutely stunning, rich and powerful, yet still elegant and precise. The nose revealed layers of lemon curd, white flowers, toasted brioche, and a subtle mineral note. On the palate, it had a creamy texture, lively acidity, and a long, graceful finish. As we were finishing up our champagne tasting, the fair started shutting down. People were packing up, disassembling booths, and heading home. It really hit us then, how much effort everyone puts into being here, setting up, sharing their wines with the world. We left feeling happy, grateful, and inspired. Our first ProWein experience was unforgettable. Fantastic memories, meaningful conversations, new friendships, and so much to learn from. We already can't wait for next year's.